Hello, nice to meet you in our daily V News, and following are the headlines.
Party General Secretary Witten Vroegop meets top legislators of Belgium in Brussels. Meeting marks the 40th anniversary of ASEAN-Japan Friendship and Cooperation. 63rd anniversary of diplomatic ties between Vietnam and China celebrated in Beijing.
General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Nguyễn Phú Trọng, has affirmed that Vietnam wants to increase comprehensive cooperation with Belgium when meeting with Belgium's President of the Chamber of Representatives, André Fleurot, and President of the Senate, Sabine de Béthune, in Brussels on January 18. At the meeting, the two sides expressed their delight at the expanding bilateral ties between Vietnam and Belgium. They agreed that the two countries' legislative bodies should strengthen high-ranking meetings and all-level delegation exchanges in the future to share their experiences in law and decision-making. The two Belgian top legislators described Chop's official visit as an important milestone in the developing cooperation between the two countries. The President of Belgium Chamber of Representatives valued Vietnam's achievement during its renovation course as well as its role in the region and the world, and expressed his hope that, as a coordinator between ASEAN and the EU, the country will help boost cooperation between the two regions. On the same day, Chop had a meeting with Mayor of Brussels, Freddy Timmermans. Chop said Vietnam highly values its dedication and training cooperation with Brussels, with many universities in the city holding close ties with institutions in Vietnam. He said he hopes Brussels will encourage and create favorable conditions for its businesses to invest in Vietnam, help Vietnam in personnel training, and broaden its direct ties with Vietnam's localities. Hailing Chop and the Vietnamese high-ranking delegation's visit, Mayor Thiaman conveyed his hope to further bolster the city's friendship and cooperation with Vietnam, and highly valued the contributions of the Vietnamese community in Brussels, which he described as dynamic and friendly. On the occasion of the upcoming Lunar New Year, Vice President Nguyễn Thị Doan, who is also chair of the National Fund for Vietnamese Children, presented gifts to poor peoples and policy beneficiary families in the northern mountainous province of Lai Châu.
During her trip to Lai Châu from January 17th to 19th, the Vice President praised the province's efforts in education and training. She suggested that Lai Châu agencies pay more attention to human resource development and infrastructure investment, as well as build more schools, maintain pupil numbers, improve the capacity of teachers, ensure social security, and reduce hunger and poverty. On the occasion, the Vietnam Red Cross Society donated 100 million VND and 300 blankets for the province's poor people and Agent Orange victims. Launched in 2012 by the National Fund for Vietnamese Children, the program entitled I Don't Have to Drop Out has awarded more than 3,400 scholarships, worth over 10 billion dong, to poor and disadvantaged children in 28 provinces. In 2013, the program will grant more than 5,200 scholarships, worth nearly 16 billion dong, to children in 35 provinces. In Lai Châu alone, it has presented 200 scholarships worth 600 million dong since the start of the year.
Italian Culture Minister Lorenzo Ornaghi has told Vietnamese Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism Hoàng Tuấn Anh that his country will strengthen cultural cooperation with Vietnam in the time to come.
At their meeting in Italy on January 17th, the two sides agreed to promote cooperation and cultural exchange through the organization of film festivals, cultural events, and artistic exchanges. Ornaghi pledged to create all favorable conditions to ensure the success of the Vietnam Year in Italy, to mark 40 years of the two countries' diplomatic ties. The ministry will also sponsor a Vietnam Cultural Week in Venice, scheduled to take place in June. He also expressed his hope that in the time to come, the two countries' relations in other fields, including economics, trade, education and training, will also develop rapidly. For his part, Minister Ang said Vietnam wants to push multifaceted cooperation, increase experience exchange with Italy, and boost mutual understanding in each other's cultures.
The Vietnamese Ministry of Education and Training and Lao Ministry of Education and Sports signed an agreement on cooperation plans in 2013 in Hanoi on January 18. The agreement will improve Vietnam-Laos cooperation in education and human resources development in the 2011-2020 period. Under the agreement, Vietnam will receive 433 officers, students and postgraduates from Laos and provide short-term training to Lao teachers in 2013. The two sides will propose measures to improve the quality of education, which will be submitted to the two governments for consideration. In addition, they will organize ministry-level delegation exchanges and create conditions for the education and training establishments to swap experiences. The Vietnamese embassy in Beijing on January 18th hosted a banquet to mark the 63rd anniversary of diplomatic ties between Vietnam and China. Speaking at the function, Vietnamese Ambassador Nguyễn Văn Thơ affirmed that Vietnam and China share cultural similarities and are on the path to socialism under the leadership of the Communist parties. Both countries are at a key stage of their renewal course, so Vietnam and China need a peaceful and stable international environment for national development to improve people's lives, he said. It is an important foundation for Vietnam and China to further develop their friendship and comprehensive cooperation, he added. Vietnam values its developing relations with China, and it is a priority in Vietnam's foreign policy, he affirmed. In her speech, Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Fu Ying said the Vietnam-China relationship has been stable developments over the last year. The two countries' leaders have had a great number of talks to deepen strategic cooperation, she noted. Representatives from the Ministry of Finance met with Ambassador to Vietnam Yasuki Tanisaki and Special Advisor of the Japan International Cooperation Agency Kotegawa Daisuke to step up preparations for a technology cooperation program.
Japan is the ministry's leading non-refundable ODA sponsor. Most of the funds are provided through the Japan International Cooperation Agency and focus on the renovation and modernization of public finance management, tax and customs operations. JICA representatives said the agency will continue to work with the Ministry of Finance to plan the 2013 to 2015 Technology Cooperation Program, including the restructuring of state-owned enterprises and enhancing the Ministry's management of ODA. The Ministry and JICA have finalized all the necessary documents to launch the program in April.
A meeting to mark the 40th anniversary of ASEAN-Japan Friendship and Cooperation was held in Jakarta, Indonesia on January 18.
Addressing the function, ASEAN Secretary-General Lei Luong-ming affirmed that Japan is one of ASEAN's oldest and most important dialogue partners. According to Ming, Japan has always stood side by side with ASEAN and strengthened connectivity, economic cooperation, trade and investment with the association as it develops and integrates to build an ASEAN community by 2015. He stated that the bloc welcomes links with Japan that will bring economic benefits and expand their bilateral ties in the future. Japanese ambassador to ASEAN, Ishikane Kimuhiru, stressed that Japan values its ties with ASEAN. He spoke highly of the association's central role in ensuring regional peace, security and stability. He also reiterated Japan's pledge to support ASEAN in economic development and regional integration to build an ASEAN community by 2015, especially through the group's connectivity programs.
And that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.